Hello and welcome. First things first, before we get into the security part of this video, let's take a moment to appreciate the virtual world that you're joining me in. Go ahead, take a look to your right. You thought you were going to see your classmate, right? What about if you look over to the left? No, they're not there either. The truth is, actually, you're here with me right now. Take a look up. If you even look down, you can see the color of my shoes. This is going to be an immersive experience for you where we're going to take you inside aircraft security searching. This will give you the opportunity to see things firsthand, completely different than any other experience you've ever had. Come with me on board. Let's take a walk and go through some of the tips and training that's involved in aircraft security. Okay, so now let's talk about first class. Go ahead and take a minute to look around. A little more spacious. But sometimes that creates complacency. So it's important that you stay vigilant. Let's talk a little bit about some of the differences. One of the things that's important when you're talking about the security search, whether you're in the aft of the aircraft or in the first class areas, will be the overhead bins. If you're not tall enough to visually inspect these areas, a mirror can be used. But it's important that you search and ensure that nothing has been left behind. Oftentimes, the airlines will store components that they use in flight. It's important that all of these are removed and you're able to see behind. If you have any kits in the overhead bin that are assigned to these areas that have seals and the seals have been broken, it's important that you take this down, open it up, and search. The seats in first class are not that different than the rest of the aircraft, just larger. So we continue to do a tactile inspection of the headrests, the tray table areas, and of course underneath the seat bottom cushion, as well as the life vest seal placed in the front of each seat. Most of the bulkheads and most of the airlines will have some type of form of a separator, usually in the form of a curtain. It's important that the curtain is opened up and a tactile inspection is done. Okay, now let's have another little test. Okay, so now let's take a minute to talk about the cabin. We talked about this being an immersive experience, so go ahead. Feel free to take a look around. Notice a lot of seats. Each one of those seats have to be searched as part of the complete security process. So let's take a moment to talk about what that looks like. The easiest way to do is to start from the bottom and work your way up. Most seats are going to have some type of a life vest positioned underneath the seat. That could be secured with a seal or possibly a latch. Ensure that the area is completely sealed off. If not, ensure to contact your supervisor. The next process will be to remove the seat cushion and expose the seat bottom. Then perform a tactile inspection on the seat. Some seats will have an additional area that's Velcroed. You can pull that back and make sure that you have the ability to have a visual sight of that area. We move the headrests up, inspecting through tactile. Then we replace the seat cushion as it previously was. If you're in an exit row, you're going to notice that the tray tables are actually in a housing. You want to completely remove the tray table, have the ability, and if you have a flashlight, you can see deep into the pocket. Check the tray table, and then restow. Oftentimes, you'll notice as well that there will be jump seats possibly on either side of the exit row. Just as in the rear and the galley, you want to ensure that you completely remove all the areas, restow, perform your tactile inspection, and remove areas. Once restowed, it's important that you also look for seat back pockets, anything that's been left there by a customer or passenger, oftentimes iPads and phones. These tray tables may be locked in place due to the fact that you're in an exit row and they don't want them to fall out. But make sure as you maneuver through the next aisles that you're dropping the tray tables. One of the most important areas that you're going to find in any exit row, bulkhead, or area that has a lavatory attached is going to be the seat just adjacent to that side. Oftentimes, because of the spacing, this area gets overlooked quite often. There'll be items in the seat back pocket here, and then additionally, there could be other kits or things stowed in this row. It's important that you have line of sight and visually inspect all of these areas. Now, let's watch the process. Okay, and now it's time to check the lab. Obviously, it's a confined space, so there's fewer areas, but it's still incredibly important that we're very thorough in the process. The first thing we want to do is look for the baby changing table, which can be dropped from the side compartment. Pretty simple, check the toilet lid. Then any areas that have provisioning, which would generally be located behind the mirror or just to the side. We want to remove the items and ensure you check them. Restow them. And if you have any loose paper towels, you want to make sure that you can feel for those and ensure that nothing has been left in this compartment. Once that has been restowed, you may either stand outside and reach in or simply sit down and check the trash compartment area. Ensure that you're looking behind. Oftentimes, there will be a unit just to the left that works as a heater and a water pump. Ensure that you are visually inspecting all of the area and the components around this. Restow the can. There you have it. So now, let's watch a full test. So come with me to the galley area. Go ahead, take a minute to look around. What you'll notice is all of the stowage areas, lavatory doors on either side, and 2 aircraft exits. One of the most important things to discuss when we're talking about the galley areas, especially the doors, is that the doors are never to be opened unless you've been authorized to do so. Let's talk a little bit about the process. So what we want to do to ensure a good flow during our search is we want to move from the left to the right, top to the bottom. We do that by ensuring that all cabinet areas are inspected. As we do so, we want to make sure that there are no prohibitive items left behind that don't belong. As we continue to process across, continuing to be vigilant about anything out of place. Additionally, any of these kits that can be removed should be. Always maintaining line of sight to ensure that nothing has fallen behind or been left. Additionally, as we move through the process, this also may require checking the lower cabinets. This can be done by simply pulling out the cart. And as a tip, this is where a flashlight comes in handy. Simply look behind, ensuring that nothing has fallen or been left behind this area, or no prohibitive items are located there. When stowing the cart back, simply remove the cart back into the area. However, if you're in a city that requires you to do the security search on the interior of the cart, simply do so by opening the cart and checking the interior. You can simply do this by ensuring that each of the drawers are inspected. Close the cart and return it to its original position. Again, we would continue to progress from left to right across the aircraft, checking all of the cabinets and removing them from their stowage area. One critical component when we talked about aircraft doors is if you have an area that does not allow you to access unless the aircraft door is open, ensure that you let your lead or supervisor know. Another area of the galley that's incredibly important, that's on either side, is the flight attendant jump seat. It's important that you open and inspect all of the areas on the flight attendant jump seat, which folds down and creates a sitting place for them during flight. All of these cushions will have an area underneath that you can inspect and then re-stow this cushion. It's important that a tactile inspection be performed on cushions that are in place, and then any areas that can be removed and visually inspected should be done so. All right, now let's do a little test. Okay, so hopefully that gave you an incredible experience. I think through virtual reality, we can take these training classes to a completely different level. Allow you the ability to look around, to sense what's going on. Security is an incredible priority to what we do here. We're hoping that this will enhance that experience and enhance your experience with us. Thank you.